Hello and welcome back to the HTML tutorial. In episode 1 we talked about the basic HTML tree, about the head tag, about the body tag and about the title. And we also discussed that in this episode we're going to talk about headings, paragraphs and text. So let's take a look at our website now. Right now there's nothing on the web page because there's nothing in the body. Let's start by creating a big nice headings. Headings are defined with the H tag. Now, there's no such thing as an H tag, but something like H1, for example. Now, there are different headings, like H1, H2, H3, H4, and H5, and H6. And they all have different sizes, so if we go ahead and copy this, by the way, in Visual Studio Code, you can click Control, Alt, and then the down arrow to create a new cursor to edit more than one line at once. Now, let's save this and reload the page. And as you can see, these headings have different sizes. Now, what's hilarious is that if we make a paragraph, that you can see that the paragraph is bigger than the H6 and the H5 heading. I don't know exactly whether it's bigger than the H4 heading. It appears to be the same. So yeah, let's start with a big, nice H1 heading. Toastify, the best toast company. Now I want to make some lines under this heading. So let's talk about paragraphs. Paragraphs, as you already have seen, are these P's. And what's important to note is that every heading and every paragraph automatically creates a new line. So if I say this is a second paragraph, it will actually be in the new line. Notice that the layouting in the editor doesn't have any effect on the page itself. What you will also find in paragraphs and headings is that if you just add a few spaces and press enter, add a few spaces, you'll notice that nothing changes. This is because HTML just shrinks it down to 1 and just ignores new lines. It replaces the new lines with also 1 space again. So as you can see, no difference. If you want to make a line break, then I suggest using the BR element. That just creates a line break. Now let's talk about the text, because this text honestly looks a bit boring. So let's say you want to make these words bold, alright? There is an element for that. It's called the B element, for B for bold. Now if we just drag this word into the B element, you can see this word is now bold. We can also create a second element that contains 2 words, so it really doesn't matter how much is in there. Now let's say we want to put this in the foreground and make the user more concentrated on this word rather than the others. So let's underline Toastify. You can do that using the U tag. Just drag it in. Toastify. Now it's underlined. So what you now know is that P is a paragraph, then U is used to underline, P is used to make bold words, and there's a new element. It's I. I stands for italic and it makes text italic. Right? Underline, bold, italic. Now what's important to note is that you can use more elements inside of other elements. So we can also add a B tag, and inside of that B tag also add an I tag. Put that right in the middle. Boom, now everything happened. it's bold, it's underlined, and it's italic. Now I'm going to tell you about line breaks. So let's first make some nice text on our website. Toastify is a free to use website for ordering toast. We are going to create a h2 tag as like a subtitle. No, yeah, you know, a secondary title. Toast you will ever dream of. Now say this is a bit too long. Let's make it bigger a bit. Say this is a bit too long for us and you want to split it into different lines. Let's go ahead and do that. Now this is absolutely no problem. It still displays it correctly because as mentioned previously, new lines get replaced by spaces. Now I want to highlight some of those words like free to use, that's pretty important, and ordering toast, and the website and you will ever dream of. I want to highlight that. So let's start by creating some B elements, free to use, and for ordering, highlight you will ever dream of. Now I honestly think this looks a bit stupid. If you take a look, let's make it bigger. If you take a look, you can't clearly see that this is more important than the rest of the text. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the B tags to U tags. Now if you're in Visual Studio Code, you could just go ahead and do this, but to not replace the B's in the body element or something, you can just select this, so it will only replace the whole words. With U, replace all, save, Alt Tab and F5. That's nice. Now we can see the underlined words and the underline really highlights it more. So now I want to make this italic because it will look better because it's a name. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we have a nice web page with some italic text, some underlined text, and the headers are automatically bold. Now let's, instead of using paragraphs, I want to put everything in one paragraph. And here I want a line break. Now, as you can already imagine, that doesn't work. It just puts in the same line. So what we can do is use the BR attribute. This is one method of line breaking. We'll just create a new line. But we can also use the HR attribute, which will make this line here. Now this line is not just, you know, these characters spammed around because you can double click them, but you can't double click this line, okay? It's a clear line break. Now let's talk about how you can do this without line breaks. I want the website to look exactly like it looks in the editor. Alright, so put away this HR. I want it to look like this and I don't want to add a line break. Now if you for some reason want to do that without adding a line break, then HTML has prepared. Funny joke by the way, because prepare contains this prefix pre and pre is a tag. Now pre is just exactly like paragraph, but it aligns it as it is in the editor and also gives it another font, which looks a bit weird. So yeah, if you want to use that, you can use that. I don't really like that. So let's just add a BR element, and I'll stick to that. And more about text and stuff you will learn in the next episode, where we are going to talk about the colors, how we can color this text, and how we can style it more. And okay, I'm going to spoil you completely. We're going to learn about CSS, and you will love that. Okay, see you.